Crankiest old man, sitting in his old mittens. He's really cold, but the story needs to be told. He's the crankiest man of the world. All right. Green dots. Ooh. Oh, there it goes. All right. In theory, it's online. It's online. Make sure that my pen works every time. Be working just fine. Just fine. Banging on the dumpster outside. Wait for that to quiet down. And that's the right thing. Microphone is microphoning. Oh, what could I be forgetting this week? Don't think anything is forgotten. Pretty sure nothing is rotten. 'Cause we built this city. We built this city on rock and or roll. Oh. Okay. Press the button and see what happens. Synthanius? God 69? Who is this guy? Who is this guy indeed? Ripley? Meow. 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 Xanthius wants to know who this guy is. So, like, is it me? I guess he's talking about me, right? Should we cut to me? He's probably talking about me, because as we discussed last live streaming, I'm the guy. If there's gonna be a guy that anything is about in this thing, it is me. That's why I am on the inaccessible mug, and your face is on virtually nothing. It's all about me. I am the thing, the alpha and or the omega, and you're just some guy. You're just some guy, but I'm the guy. Guy? Do you get that guy? Yeah. Meow meow, etc. etc. Meow. 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 No, Ripley, me. Hey, I'm the guy. I'm the guy. Hey, Space Goonie. It's Tuesday again, and here we go. Space Goonie, subscribe. Editing. Oh wow. I used to edit these things. Now I just press buttons and cut to different things. Oh, so you must have followed a long time ago and then forgot about it, and now you're just like, hey, the thing I followed a million years ago is online again? My sinuses are full. So today, I did think of a comic strip. Honestly, was thinking, hey, you know what? Maybe I'll just go to bed instead. But I thought of something I wanted to draw. It's probably going to be pretty quick and or simple. I'm going to copy and paste a lot, but I think in the end, it's going to be worth it. I don't know. Doesn't matter. We're just having fun making comic strips for fun. As long as they star me, everything is fine and everything is wonderful. So yeah, so get to making a comic strip about me, just me, because I'm just a star of a comic strip big, and you just draw it, and I'll be here sipping on whatever I have in this inaccessible mug. This mug. Not today. Where are you today? You're over here. There you go. Not today, sucker. Today you're not in the comic. Do I have to throw an unacceptable bug at you? Then tell you to glue to get back together the pieces that say unacceptable? Cause this is the height of unacceptability right over here. That's what this is. Yeah, sometimes things are unacceptable. Do you remember movies and the things we used to see? Stories that were made up by a Spielberg, Steve. They would be some ETs, some Star Troopers, no, Starship Troopers, and more. Dolly Parton would be Texas's greatest house of. Anyway, yeah. Did you see the Tenet? Tenant? Tennis. Tenant? Tenet. Tenant? Either way. That movie looks stupid. Oh man. Now I forget what I was drawing. Here we go. I think this will work. Speaking of movies, though, speaking of where was my other camera? Hey, over in the serious camera, did you see what? What's Xanthius was all up on the editing and the cutting, and then there's a microphone in frame. Ah, there goes Xanthius, God of 69. Did you see the trailer for the movie? I can't remember what it's called now, but it's like The Regular Guy with Bob Odenkirk, which is just like, hey, what if Bob Odenkirk was John Wick? And yes, turns out, yes, please. I look forward to that as a movie. Will it ever happen? I don't know. I forgot the Ghostbusters still hasn't come out yet. Apparently, Justice League still hasn't come out yet. They're like, hey, check it out. Oh, how about we show you the first scene from Justice League? I already watched that whole movie. Either give me the whole new good version of the movie, or just keep working on it. Either way, like just continually going like, eh, um, I'm gonna soup up the F out of Justice League over here. Steppenwolf was pretty dumb, huh? But what about with more spikiness? Huh? What if he looked like a transformer from a Michael Bay? Mystique transformation? Huh? Does that step up your Steppenwolf? We'll also only play the Steppenwolf Magic Carpet Ride song whenever he shows up on the screen? Now is this Justice League better? And yes, probably. It's probably gonna be better. Where is it? When is it? I don't know anymore. Wonder Woman came out, and wow. First one was super great. Second one, I was just looked silly. Just silly. But I'm sure it's still fun. It's still probably really fun. Seen any good Ford Rangers lately? Probably not. But most likely? Were they good? I don't know. Pat Prue is back to subscribe once again. How is that even possible? How is that even possible? Keep an eye out. More chin. There we go. That's a little more right. What else? What else is there? What's in the news this week, huh? I don't care anymore. That's what's in the news this week, and it's great. It's so great to not care what's in the news. Now, I'm still concerned that there is certain news that it's like, remember how, don't know what that says. Randomness 30. Following me. Randomness 30. That almost rhymes. But yeah, that trailer for the Bob Odenkirk movie looks amazing. I still haven't taken the time to watch the Godzilla King of Monsters. Hola, Sylvia. Hola. And hello. Um, but the Godzilla versus King Kong trailer looks amazing, but again, what is it about? They're gonna team up, I assume, in the end, even though the trailer says like they will fight each other. Um, but yeah, I still have to watch the other one. But I don't know. Watching Godzilla, or sorry, watching King Kong punch Godzilla, amazing. And sadly, or not sadly, I should say, confusedly so, just in my head at least anyway, I don't know who I want to win. Like, ultimately, I would rather they both won. I guess I don't know, but you know, technically they can come back to life through the magic of movies and what have yous. But maybe it's a primate thing. But I'm like, I think that I want King Kong to win, right? Like, even though Godzilla isn't usually technically the bad guy. Oh, neither do I, Anthanius. Neither do I. I do it for a living. And like 6 times a day, I'm just at work going, I don't know, man. I don't know how to make this look like the thing it's supposed to look like. Oh, geez. Am I getting fired today? No. Do close enough. I guess, yeah, that's the thing. It was like, but once King Kong is now as big as a Godzilla, then it's like, well, he is just as destructive, just from like walking around and doing stuff. I don't know what the side of a proton pack looks like, and I don't care. Um, um, but the only other thing is you know King Kong doesn't have powers. He is just a mass, which is like he'll destroy things just based on his giantness and his arm flailiness. Um, and I believe I think they're just going to explain it with he's been irradiated, possibly to fight Godzilla, or because he was growing. Oh, that's how they explain it. Um, Guy whose name I can't remember, but the guy who was on the island explaining stuff. The other stepbrother there, John C. Riley, he said like, oh, he's not even full grown. He's still growing. So that's how they explained that away, which was, oh, this was still just a young, small Kong, and he's going to keep getting bigger as the monsters keep fighting each other. Um, But yeah, ultimately though, when Godzilla's fighting the other monsters in the Godzilla universe, they usually do also have electricity, fire breath, regenerating limbs, and extra heads popping out of wherever. But oh, he says it in like literally almost a throwaway line, like, "Oh, he's still growing. Like he's gonna get bigger." Like it just passes so quickly. I think it's the only reason I noticed it is because of watching some YouTube guy notice it and say like, "Huh? I guess that's how they explain that away." So, it's one of those things that are just like, you know, when Obi-Wan and C-3PO are just throwing dead bodies onto a fire to burn them. The Jawas, were they burning Jawas or Sand People? Either way, there's a point in Star Wars, and like I've seen this movie 7 million times, and it's only like well into my 30s, and I'm like, hey, what's going on? Everybody, gather around and answer my question. Um, is, are they burning bodies in the background over there? How has that never come up? Uh, but uh, but yeah, ultimately, versus wise, when you got a Godzilla versus a uh, uh, a giant ape monster, um, Godzilla can shoot like irradiated energon bursts out of his mouth, and I think he has other powers as well for some reason that I'm forgetting. But I mean, uh, he's also a gun, so he doesn't even need to get that close. Like in the first new Godzilla, there when he opens up his mouth and just like rah, screams all the energon inside of his throat and it's like just burns him until it's just like jaws are left or whatever. Like what's what's King Kong gonna do about that? King Kong ain't got nothing on that. Paraphrase. Uh, Ashes Clay, I guess. I don't remember who said that. Muhammad Ali. Those are the same person, right? Egon Spangler and his morning coffee. Denzel. And hmm. I mean, I'm pretty sure gorillas can swim. Can they not? Or can they? I don't know enough about it. I know that uh the gorillas are elephants. We were watching a thing on or watching QI, and they were explaining how elephants couldn't swim, and they proved it by like just getting elephants and throwing them. Not elephants though, but it was what was it? Was it gorillas? I don't know. No, yeah, because tigers can swim really good. I don't think. Don't know. I just don't know. If only 17 of the things in front of me right now that I could look all of this up on. What if I do this? How do I turn Siri on? Siri, where you at? Siri? Hey, Siri. Siri. Yeah, I swear to God, like 90 times a day, Siri's always like, what? And now when I'm purposely trying to make her come up, hey Siri, hey. I must have disabled it because it was always coming up. Um, but yeah, I don't know. Uh, Size wise, can things get too big to swim? Like, can he float properly so that he doesn't drown himself under his own awkwardness? Or is he so big that he starts to live by like whale properties where it's just like, I just go in the water and I'm just floating around having the greatest time. I don't have to know how to swim. I am my own Titanic, and there's no uh, icebergs that are gonna chop through him. Maybe it was the thing about the giraffes, about how giraffes can't swim because their neck is too long. They'll just like their body floats up and then they drown themselves. But yeah. And here's the Arctic elephant graveyard. As you can see, all of these elephants were sliced to pieces on rogue icebergs as they swam through the Arctic and Antarctic. And then their bodies are frozen like little avatar boys in the ice for us to see later on. Hey, elephants. They were always swimming everywhere. Okay, I think it needs to be more on screen. Do this. A little bit of a table or counter thing here. There we go. This was also an old episode of QI as well. What's great about my information as of late is especially like every time, How does I don't even know. I don't even know. It's just that out of all of the buttons, how I keep hitting the start soon button makes no sense. There's 1,000 buttons around it. Um, but damn it. For like at least the past week, if not little while, I've been mildly like I wouldn't even call it obsessed, but I'm like, oh, you know what I've never really watched is Mock the Week. This British show where they mostly talk about specifically British news, and they'll bring up like a question, and they just improvise just a bunch of random jokes and random throwaway things about it. And it's good fun, especially like since I've been watching Taskmaster and 8 out of 10 Cats does countdown and 8 out of 10 Cats. So it's like starting to get to know a lot of these different uh, uh, European, British comedians that I'm just like these guys are super fun, but I don't know anything. I don't know anything about Canadian politics, let alone British politics. So I'm just like only taking in information about people. I don't know what they do. I don't know what they're talking about. But the parts where they're just making jokes is funny, and I usually understand most of it unless they make specific references to a place down the street. And Dara O'Brien is the host, and he's super fun and just makes it all interesting. And they talk about a lot of things here and there, and it's great. But overall, like if and when I watched like This Hour is 22 Minutes, for example, or I did some animation for a TV show that was kind of like a fake Canadian news slash entertainment night thing. So I tried to watch some episodes of that show, and just like I don't get any of this. What? This is all still related to because Canadian TV is still mostly run by the government in some way, shape, or form. All of the entertainment news is still political news, or at least was. So I'm just like, I don't know I don't get any of this. What are they talking about? I only understand American television, and when I watch British stuff, uh, I understand it just as much as I understand Canadian things, so I don't feel so bad. But lately, since I've been trying not to watch, 1,000 things about Trump and all that nonsense and whatever, and hey, as far as there still isn't a big like, everyone line up and get your vaccines. It's hey, we're running out of vaccines already, and these other rich people are taking advantage of vaccines, and these guys are doing this and this thing. Like, all right, cool, fine. Finish fighting that out or whatever, and then when it's time for everyone else to get lined up for vaccines, then I'll be there for that, I guess. But until then, um, I'm just gonna watch British panel shows. So if something big does come up, like oh hey, Trump just offended everybody in the world, like all right, if they're talking about it over there, then it's something that's everywhere. But as far as, yeah, trying to not to specifically go looking for nonsense. The other thing is, once you watch the 10 or 13 episodes that make up a season, a year, a series, um, and you're like, well, I want to watch more TV. It's only 3 o'clock in the afternoon on a Sunday, and I'm definitely not getting to that project that I've been procrastinating about. I guess I'll watch last year's. I guess I'll watch the year before. Last week, 2 weeks ago, whenever it was, I was watching so much of 8 out of 10 cats. Just regular, not does countdown, which is the same thing, just a panel show where it's like, hey, what's the news of the week? Let's make fun of these people. And I'm just watching like, oh, has it really been that terrible in 2020? Because like I'm over here watching the news from 2012, and it was crazy, and that was like a good year. And then 2016 was just like, this is insane. Oh my god, 2011 was bananas. Like that was a long time ago as well. So every time period sucks. I know what I want over here. Do size. The other thing, the other thing I do know about. Oh, well, the other thing. Hey, why not? Let's let Batman report on it. Let's go live on location to let Batman say your stories instead of you. Because you're like just you, and who cares? Like nobody cares. Like you're not me, and I'm amazing, and I'm not even Batman. And I'm willing to admit that Batman is like amazing. Yeah, but this Batman is, Let's go live on location, see what Batman's up to. If I can find his button. Hey, here I am live on location, and every single picture of the internet, every single picture of the internet available. It's right here. It's this one right here. Yeah. Yep. Forgot to get more water before I started doing that. It's everywhere. Like I was gonna do a comic strip about Milo just going up and being like, "Hey, like I'm not, like I'm a cranky old man too. Like how are you the hero of crank? You're the crankiest, but you're the best at being the crankiest old man. You're top crankiest old man in the world right now. Like, what? Like, and then Milo just being like, I am so and look at my mittens, and look at my mittens. And I already saw other tweets, or not tweets, but Instagrams and memes that were just like, hey, look at me and my mittens over here too. Like, it's too late. It's too late. He's saturated everything. That's right. It's a full saturation. Bernie Sanders is everywhere. He's just sitting there. He's just a little chilly. He's got a mask on. He's looking down on people. He's looking up towards the future. And he's got some mittens on. And that lady is selling some more mittens like you wouldn't believe, I assume. And of course, he's raising charity with pictures of him sitting in this chair, going all over. He sure is. He sure is. I didn't take the time to animate Bernie Sanders just sitting there being Bernie Sanders. But we all know. We all know. We've seen it 1,000 times. It is everywhere. And I have to say, out of all the memeing that's occurred in the last while, like when there was a super moon or whatever that was, and it was like, hey, everybody post a picture of the moon. Like, oh my god, nobody needs to post a picture of the moon. It wasn't that different, but yeah, it was different. And if you've seen that, if you know that one was posted, and you do, it's there. And if anyone wants to Google it, there'll be some images. but then every meme and every comic was about how everyone was posting pictures of the super moon. And then, there's been this, there's been that, like, the fly on Mike Pence. And now, like honestly, the fly on Mike Pence was just like, all right, this is a guy who's a shit, and there's a fly on him during a thing. This is hilarious and adorable, and that guy is garbage. That guy's just garbage. He's a bad guy. He's trying to pretend to be a half decent guy, but at the heart of it, he has the power to be, or had the power to be, a hero, and he chose to be a maniac instead. And then, oh hey, there he's got a fly in his head. Let's all laugh at this and make this fly a hero because it is. And now it's just like the saturation factor was so fast on this because Bernie Sanders is beloved, and when the people who don't like Bernie Sanders are making mocking pictures of Bernie Sanders, they still come across as endearing and fun. So it's like you can't beat Bernie Sanders and this memes. And I mean, and every day that I do see a new one that's just like, oh no, but this one is really great too. And it always is. Like so far there hasn't been one where I'm just like, I want to make one out of spite, but I think I just want to join in. I just want to join in. But I still just want to be, I still just kind of want to do a comic of Milo pushing Bernie Sanders over in his chair and just being like, I'm the crankiest old cranky crank. Would you push over an old man in a chair? I didn't think so, old man. There can be only one. And it's Milo. And as we know, he mostly speaks for me. Because he's everybody's grandpa when you've had a bad day. Take it one down, and you're sitting around. But then, of course, no matter how jealous I can get of, hey, come on, how do I get Bernie Sanders to wear a Milo shirt or a pin that just says, unacceptable? And everybody's like, that's the thing from the thing. We also think it's unacceptable, like Bernie. And then, that ball gets rolling. And then he goes and is like, oh, I'm going to take this picture. I'm going to sell it for $40 a piece. I'm going to give all of the proceeds to whatever it was. Feed the world, save the world, whatever he's doing. Clothe the hungry. He's a good person. He's a good person. So the only thing I can think to do is to join in and not be a jealous, subversive jerk for once. Cause you had a bad day. Definitely some things in the world. Oh yeah, I mean, they're still going after that other guy for things as best they can. But oh, that's all Rudy's fault. You go after him. $1.3 billion, $1 billion. You threatened everything, and I was just here. Just going to play golf, having Florida burgers, everything was great. But yeah. Oh yeah, you guys weren't here last week. Since he's out of the White House, he's at his Florida resort, hanging out, just taking advantage of people that work for him or whatever. So yeah, he's just in basically a hotel room full of burgers now. Very classy room. There's no expense, just like a Jurassic Park ride. And it's not going to be a terrible situation. I'm the best, and I will form a new party, the winning party. I am the Charlie Sheen of politics. Oh. Coffee? Coffee. 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 Can you imagine a world where somebody who's like, I'm super important right now. Like, everyone, shut up. I'm crazy important. Cafe. And just don't even worry about anything because I've got it covered. All right? You want to worry about the health plan? I've got the health plan Cafe covered. Okay? I've got the military budget. Cafe. I've got that. All right? I'm on top of it, Cafe. And everything else is diseases, people taking your jobs. I'm Cafe top of that. Okay, Cafe. Excuse me. I think you're going to have to explain why you kept throwing that word Cafe around if you've even thrown it around once. Any explanation whatsoever? And no. No. He just didn't. And I mean, so many of those situations where it's just like, even obvious crimes aside that he is willingly admitted to, and there's paperwork and video and audio, all of those things, regardless of all of the proof, nobody's going to say, I'm sorry, sir, you can't be that important, and then randomly say this weird thing, and at least not just say, oops, typo, because you'll never admit to a typo, and not, oh, I must have got hacked, or whatever reason that was never given. Like, how? How? In a world where I feel like everything I do, I feel like is scrutinized to the tiniest pixel, even though it's not, but I feel like it is. I scrutinize everything to the tiniest pixel. If you ever move or draw or think or breathe, I'm like, hey, there's a better way to do that. There has to be a better way. Oh, Rob Popeil, there is a better way. And it's whatever way you're not doing. And then that's my job. It's my gift. It's my curse. It's my duty. It's my version of being your Rudy. I'm your Giuliani, and your don't even no. What are we talking about? Oh yeah. So apparently it's. I mean, I guess it's Rudy Giuliani's fault for not being a responsible enough lawyer to say, yeah, this is wrong, but he threatened a company founded in Toronto that makes voting machines, and they're suing him for, again. It's just like, won't he be in jail before any lawsuits can go through? Like, again, I don't understand anything about anything, but if I even pretend to do half of the things that these people are doing on television, I will lose my YouTube channel. I'll have to go to a court of some kind, probably end up owing a lot of money and or just straight up going to jail. But, whatever. The richer you are, the I don't know, the harder you get to fall on people. That's not a good metaphor for anything. All right, I'm gonna add some words to this right away. This is gonna be a quick one. A sample text. What? I thought I was. Last week we talked about how I took my Christmas tree down finally, and in order to do so, I had to clean out my storage room area, and I'm just like, oh my god, like this is forever, like this is crazy. Like once I took it down and started cleaning stuff up and making space, I'm just like, I can't believe I've been living with a whole extra tree in my apartment and all these, not even that many, just a few decorations. Um, and I mean, I say that it's just like, oh, you're the. I went for a walk the other day or other evening, and there's still so many houses that just fully have all of their their lights either up and on or just up, trees up in the window still. So, I mean, I'm sure last year, or at least the first year I put up a tree, I'm pretty sure I left it up for months and months. Honestly, it was just like, yep, it's there. It's a pretty decent like lamp in the corner of the room. But it was also, yeah, one of those years where even I think the news and or politicians were like, hey, everybody want just leave your trees up for a little bit longer because everything is too sad. Everything's too sad. So maybe a tree will help that out. And they were right. And they were right. Oops, that's the wrong screen. There we go. But the other thing that I mentioned last week was we'll do a little unboxing, if you will. It's getting warm in here. So last week, I got a box in the mail. Or, well, last stream, I waited to get a box in the mail. Shortly after the stream, I got an email that said, hey, update to your delivery thing, it'll be tomorrow. Even though they were just like sending me email after me email like Tuesday, 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 Tuesday. Be ready, be at the door, be at home. You got to sign for this Tuesday. And then Tuesday came and went. At the end of the day, hey, Wednesday. Try Wednesday. So, oh, I'll go over here. At my job, we had a meeting right before Christmas, and I was honestly like, I don't even know what this department is. Should I go to this meeting? I don't want to. I have work to do. I want to get my work done so I can just, take Christmas without thinking about stuff that needs to be done over Christmas. And and then I went to this meeting, and they were like, "All right, so anyway, guys, the meeting is fill out this form, and we're gonna make you some custom uh uh Charlie Taylors." Huh? Hmm? Like, that's amazing. Now, they, of course, called them Chuck Taylors. Uh, and the real truth is I have already taken them out of the box and worn them, but I quickly threw them back in, so they're going to be slightly dirty. And that was a mistake to throw the box there, because that's where the cord is. Okay, so yeah, they had us fill out a form. The only problem was, how it was set up was you could just go to the website and you could like click all the things and you could see how your custom shoes were going to make and you could like basically change everything and like this is amazing. but no matter how I tried, I went to every other browser I could. It just wouldn't work for me. I couldn't do a visual customization. So I just looked at the form that we had to fill out, and I just, you know, made the selections and pictured it in my mind. Now, that being said, what I designed was basically a red sneaker with black up the center, a black tongue, and a black interior, and then some black details, and then white with some stripes or whatever. But what I accidentally did was not realize, like, why does it seem like it says inside twice? And what the other inside was, I don't know how to hold these. The inside meant the inside of the shoe versus the outside. Now the thing is, when everybody else was making their shoes, after I'd finished mine, where I'm like, I basically just want like a cool pair of red sneakers with a black tongue in the middle, and then the black racing stripe, and then a black stripe down the back. This is going to be great. It's going to be great, and it would have still been great. But then other people were making that were kind of like looked like bowling shoes, and I'm like, oh, that's what I wanted to make. Oh my god, that's genius. Too late now. Too late now. And then when I pulled them out, I'm like, oh no, I made a mistake, and I made the inside black and the outside red. And then within half a second, I was just like, thank God, like this looks awesome. These are great. These are great. These are so cool. And yeah, the real Converse All Stars. Sadly, they only have the circle part on the high tops, but I feel weird wearing high tops. And yeah, I want to ear them all the time. Sadly, I don't usually buy Converses like that. When I do have sneakers that just have like a flat back, specifically at least one, if not both, but usually my left foot, it just tears the skin off the back of my foot. So I wore them once for a minute, and it tore the skin off the back of my foot, and I had to put a band-aid on it. But yeah, I figure I should either have gotten high tops, or I'll just put like a band-aid inside the sneaker or something like that, or I'll look up on the internet and see what life hacks have been made for that, and then sift through YouTube to see if anybody has disproven those life hacks. Because that's the other thing I've been watching besides British comedy news was some YouTube guys that do basically everything. Like I didn't never really think about the fact that I was like, oh yeah, I don't do that. Like I just try to make a specific YouTube slash live stream show that's the same thing all the time. But most YouTubers, they're all doing, I mean, critiquing or looking at the same thing amongst all of them. Like every single YouTuber has a Mac and Me movie review of like, I can't believe they did this. And that same YouTuber, if they aren't specifically a YouTuber, they also have hey, here's the terrible thing that Logan Paul did, or here's the whatever about these people. So I ended up watching one of those guys who was pretty fun, and was giving me the YouTube news, or just slash like the news of things that are popular, without having to watch, genuine stuff about them. I did need them to be made fun of. And just showing me other YouTubers that are like, yep, this person is super rich. They were born super rich. They sing songs about being born super rich and how they don't even know how to make money, and that's great. And they're just so super rich. So here's their record deal and all of their money. They don't need to be good. And I'm like, oh, that's awesome. Like again, like that sucks, but I'm not born rich or whatever, but I would love to be in that creativity bracket, if you will. I.e., I like being able to just, hey, I just made a thing today. Did it have to be good? No. Does it matter? No. Does everybody hate me because of that? Yeah. Will I make something else and maybe they won't hate me next week? Like, we'll see. And and it doesn't matter because, hey, if you were a rich girl, na 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 na, you just have all the money in the world, and then you'd make another, YouTube project. But I'm an adult now. I do need a haircut. Getting really close to just cutting it myself again. Because I don't know, don't want to go out into the world anymore. Um, and get a cut. But yeah, I have a job. I have art projects that pay the bills, and I do get to just make some comic strips, occasionally advertise that you can get a bunch of these comics in book form at mrcartoons.com/books, as well as t-shirts, merchandise, things with some stuff that I drew on them. Oh, actually, this is one of those. Huh? That one isn't in the store. Um, or maybe it is. I can't remember. But yeah, still updating the new store, and there's still an old store. So either way, at the end of the week, I'm not. Oh, I didn't sell 500 T-shirts, so in order to pay my bills. Um, I'm just like, hey, I made $3 selling T-shirts this year. Eh? I've never made $3 selling T-shirts before. That's amazing. Thanks, internet. Um, but yeah, ever since the pandemic kind of let up in Nova Scotia, and I'd gotten some not haircuts that I didn't do myself. Because yeah, I think I cut mine like maybe 3 times, Daryl. And the last time I got a cut, it was in a way that it's like it's blended. It was blended pretty good. So now I can't just shave it around and then leave a big island. But the big island at the top is just gotten so thick now that I just wake up and I feel disgusting. And no amount of showering makes me feel normal. So I'm just like, even if I can only do around the sides, I can't make it look decent on the top. So I would just have to shave it, and I've done that before, and it doesn't look good. Very much considered that today's stream was just going to be, hey, the drawing screen, and not me at all. But even though I need a haircut, we can still see that I cut to myself on the camera. And since it is, yeah, it's apocalypse time. The So if the worst the worst of my survival predicaments is, oh, my hair is a little of a pain, then I'm doing pretty good. I'm doing pretty great, really. Yeah, that'll do. Well, there's one guy showing up on the British panel shows who I couldn't. First time I've seen him, but yeah, he's popped up on a few. They do everything in animes. Everything in animes. Someday I'll try something different. Maybe. Possibly. Probably not. Someday. Yeah, there's this one guy that shows up and his hair is just insane. It's like, I don't think that has anything to do with pandemic because he popped up, after showing up on one thing. Excuse me, YouTube is like, hey, maybe you like this old episode from 20 years ago. Definitely a good idea, Daryl. Definitely a good idea. I really do want to take some time, and I would love to learn bare basic Blender stuff, just to do some like real simple, just dumb 3D animation, like the same kind of stuff I would do with stop motion. But I just like to, make a thing and then just have it do stuff. By make a thing, you mean me, right? You just want to make a little 3D me that you can just throw around and have fun with, a little fun little Milo fun time jamboree, huh? This is a little bit of B, a little bit of 3, a little bit of D. Basically, yes, that's yes. Or to just make something real quick. Like I've been working on that other stop motion guy for what feels like my whole life because I'm not good at real three-dimensional things in the real world. Um, but there's definitely like a lot of programs that I should learn and a bunch that I want to. After Effects, I should really, really, unbelievably a lot sit down and actually learn how to use After Effects, even in the most simplest way. Like, you can do a lot of just amazing animation stuff in After Effects that would honestly, in many cases, make my job way easier if I knew how to just do it After Effects style. And even crazier, when I did some teaching for a little while, or instructing, whatever you wanted to call it, I was co-teaching a class, and like my half of the class was like, all right, here's what you need in your, demo reel. Here's what you need in your thing. Here's how to make it seem, action packed when you got nothing. Um, and the other half of the class was Terry teaching them how to do those things in After Effects, but I wasn't there for most of it. I was just there for the part where it was like they already knew After Effects. It was like, oh man. And yeah, mostly pretty yeah, everything that I learn now is the old YouTube video. Once again, like especially after watching a bunch of those videos by the Corridor crew of the Corridor crew behind the scenes stuff and their videos, very much made me want to do like some not necessarily special effects things, but the amount of times they just show people make or do stuff with Blender, and I'm like, oh, that seems so simple. And I mean simple being, I know animation stuff. I've done some 3D stuff before, and when I say before, this is 20 years ago, and that software hasn't existed for 15 years. Um, but I did open up Blender once a long, long time ago when it first came out and was like, hey, here's like a free 3D program and it's apparently pretty great. Like, cool. And I managed to make like some kind every time. I managed to make like a little spaceship, and then when I tried to animate it, everything just kind of stretched and went wherever. So I'm just like, all right, cool. I just animated some points instead of the whole object. So I don't I don't know how to group the things or or whatever. But there have been a few um, Blender tutorials online that I'm just like, oh my god, like this definitely will show me what I need literally in 1 2 hour video or 1 half hour video. Especially since I really don't want to become like a 3D master. I just want to make something dumb. Again, the same reason I do everything, like all my stop motions. I'm never trying to be like a professional stop motion animator. That's insane. That's too many things, too many parts, too much time. I like doing fun stop motion where it is just like moving things and then see how it looks when it moves. Yeah, that sounds good. Um, and Blender slash 3D programs seem to have gotten to a level where it is pretty a lot more intuitive now. For example, on the Corridor Crew, what really set me off one day was they were just like, "Hey, do you think we can make a scene from Tron? Can we do the light cycle scene from Tron in an afternoon?" To do it originally, it took like months and months and months. It's still, vector CG that you're like doing, but by calculations, you're like handwriting it out on paper, feeding it into a computer. That spits out a thing that goes off to the Kodak factory, and then they send you back film with shapes on it months later, and you hope it works out, and it doesn't make any sense that it would. Um, and now you can do so many things so quickly. Where it was like they built the light set cycles in no time at all, and even more so, they had the one guy who was like the 3D guy, and they had the producer guy who does know some 3D stuff, but he did not know Blender, and he like learned it on the fly. So he was learning it, and they made a pretty decent Tron light cycle scene. So I'm like, all right, cool. Like, I'm not looking to make anything amazing. I do just want to make some shapes. Show me how to bring in a texture map. Like I've painted texture maps before for game stuff. So I've and that wasn't too long ago. So it's like with some of these powers, with some of the tools that I have, I can do this. The Unix system, I know this. To to put a point on how long ago and what software I used to learn 3D, it was at the school that's just down the street from me right now, where I now live, in a room with these crazy blue toaster machines that I thought looked awesome, and they were the wave of the future. So they weren't PC, they were Mac, they were Unix systems, I believe. Well, they were SGIs, Silicon Graphics infusions. And one day a teacher showed up and she was like, "Oh, hey, you'll love this." Like, what? And she goes and just starts clicking around through the computer. She's like, "This is just a demo in Alias Lightwave, like two separate things. Alias Lightwave's Alias." But anyway, the 3D program that we used was called Alias at the time. It became something else like the next year, and then I think just got integrated into everything else. I don't know. Uh, I cannot remember, but it was apparently infinitely easier to make stuff in 3D like the year after we learned this version of the program. Uh, so year two, we're learning stuff. And then, yeah, we have this other teacher come in and she's like, oh, hey, like, yeah, you'll love this. And then she, like, looks behind her, like, at us, behind her in the computer. And then she clicks something and she's like, this is just a demo. Like, this isn't even a thing. And then she, like, looks back at the computer and she's like, it's a Unix system. I know this system. And just one of the comes with the program demos is that shot from Jurassic Park where Lex is trying to find the door locks in a 3D flyover of a bunch of boxes, and that's not like that wasn't anything. It's just like it is just hey, you load up Alias and like just to show you what 3D is. Here's what it's like to fly a camera over some boxes, and they just use that as their thing. So that's how long ago that was. And I went to school quite a few years after Jurassic Park came out. So I'm a million. Weird. Not that weird. I was just on the wrong layer. Now, I did think of something funnier, like a more non sequitur thing for Pac Man to say at the end, and I've completely forgotten what it was, because this is just what I have written on my post it notes over there. Oh, Egon, part of your shoulder's missing. But I think it was just something as silly as, uh, yeah, we're not really that different. And then Pac-Man just says, my wife has a bow in her, has a bow. I'm married to a circle with a bow. But I don't know, it just doesn't go anywhere. Why can't I paste this on the right layer? Paste. There. Alright, I need to go to my hello? Computer? Computer. Notes app. Computer? Taskbar. Computer. What's going on? There it is. Some things you just can't do with a pen. And doop. Okay, nope. Alright, I can't spell check my way to finding out how to spell this word. So, I'll have to go to the internet and Google it and see what happens. Alright, I believe Yeah, I was spelling it right. There we go. There's a little Egon, sipping his gin and or juice, laid back with his mind on his ghosts and his ghosts on his containment unit. Hey, we're not really that different after all. We're just the same. Wagga wagga. Meow, meow. But they're both busters of ghosts in some way, shape, or form. One eats them for whatever reason, and the other one puts them in a box like some sort of baby dancer. Dancer named Baby. Will not be in a corner. How long was that? 9:40. Pretty good. Pretty good. Should have opened the window. It's getting too warm in here. I think about all that. I think about all that. I think about that all the time, Daryl. So often I start to think of a comic strip and then I animate it in my head and I'm like, well, this needs these sounds in order for it to work. I can't just have it silently. There needs to be. And then other times I'm just like, well, this is going to have to move. And I'm like, oh, I could just animate these things. And then I'm like, stop animating everything. You already have to do that all day at work. But I do get the urge to every once in a while make an animated strip instead, and I should just do that. Beep boop bop bop beep boop da ba da ba dee ba doop boop ba da jigga doo 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 boop ba doo boop ba doop beep boop bop. I think that's everything. You haven't taken any time to talk to me today. I'm just here, all chilling. Cool. Thanks, Ted. Oh yeah. My head looks even more insane from that side, so I can't go looking at Ted without getting a haircut. Oh, unbelievable. It's okay, bro. You could trust me and not judge. Doesn't matter, Ted. Doesn't matter. Yeah, I think that's about it. Just extra exhausted today. I'm having one of those weeks where it's like I both feel like I haven't gotten any sleep and I've also done nothing but sleep. And I realize the answer to that conundrum, that paradox is do some exercise. Just do some exercise. No, don't do some exercise. That's stupid. And you're always wrong. But yeah, I really just need to get moving. Cause it's just so winter out. It's just so winter. I mean, again, it's been so dark in the middle of the day, and then there's some snow, and at least with the snow, it's a little bit brighter. But yeah, it's like I don't want to go outside in the world, especially not without a haircut. That's just insane. It's bad enough I'm recording stuff on a camera, um, but. But yeah, last night I had a dream. I don't remember the actual dream, but when I woke up, I've been doing this a lot lately. I mean, I do this normally, but I woke up and I spent way too long trying to figure out how to make this particular project run smoother, run better. I was like, well, if I move, all this stuff was here. If I put it between the two people that are assembling these things, and that way that's there, and then they can whatever. And then I was just like, I don't have a job where I assemble things. I don't have two people that I'm organizing to assemble things. Was there marbles? Was this a job about marbles? Oh, that was a dream. That was a dream. I am completely waking up exhausted because of a job that doesn't exist, but now I've spent waking time trying to figure out how to make that non-existent job run more smoothly, and I should just go back to sleep. So this morning I was just like, oh God, I can't believe I still have to get up and go to actual work. Uh, after, I mean, I figured out the big thing when I moved the marble bin between the people that are sorting the marbles. I mean, come on. I mean, come on. But that's what I get for watching Game Grumps and just weird old video game things and stuff about some old man showing toys that were made with marbles. YouTube is a YouTube is a deep, deep well of craziness. Speaking of which, on YouTube and on Twitch, our friend Melissa and her son Levi have started doing a live stream podcast. I assume you can get it where podcasts are available as well. I was just listening to it there today. I completely forgot to talk about it last week. I think it's been going for 2 weeks now. But yeah, you can go to their Facebook and throw in some stories and or ask some questions or answer some of the questions that they have, and then they end up talking about it. And it's for the most part all improvised. They're like just telling some stories, then improvising on some things, which is pretty great. But the funny part for me is it's called karate lessons. Not about karate lessons, but if you look for karate lessons, but in the podcast form, they're like, all right, so we're going to tell these stories that these people have sent in or their answers. And, but we're not giving out people's names or whatever. We're keeping everybody anonymous. But the funny part is, A, I think I already know who the people are that ask the questions. And then when they do, it's just like, oh, like SD asked something or told a story of, hey, well, my cat Henry does this, just like, well, I know that's little Sam, of course. And, now it's, uh, um, oh, a favorite old man show. I've just watched a few. I already forget what it's called now, but it was just some random old man playing with weird toys and retractable combs, and he has a bunch of collections. I believe his name was Tim, and it was called the something Galaxy, I think. I can't remember now, but I talked about it last week, perhaps the week before. But yeah. Anyway, Melissa and Levi are doing karate lessons, and it's just really funny for me that when they say like, oh, so and so said this, like El Wapo was here earlier. I don't. He's probably gone by now. It was like, oh, MM suggested that bologna is made of this, this, and this, and that, and I'm like, well, I know who MM is. Actually, I don't. It was either El Wapo or El Wapo's wife, because they both have the same initials. But I know who Henry the cat is, so obviously it's Space Goonie's sister. But anyway, it's a show that you can get involved in and suggest things for, and then listen to later on. And Melissa's fun. Those are my plugs of the week, I guess, of things that are out there, other than of course me and it's faded under the whiteness. But my Instagram. Follow on Instagram and on Twitch, and of course, subscribe over at YouTube. And as always, every week, I should take some time to thank the people who have followed on Twitch that watch not today when it's live, but later on. But there is a handful of people. I just noticed there's numbers. And hey, new people, how's it going? I appreciate you hanging out. Randomness followed earlier. Corbs1414. I don't think is my friend Corbin. I think it's somebody else. It's Connie Play, Phase 5 Sim, and Meme Live. I think that's it. That are new-ish. But also, I definitely had some email notifications of other names for sure. I'm going to look at that right now and see that I'm not crazy. Because I feel like, am I crazy? I remember different names. Sammy Wallace 420 was apparently or is apparently following. Pat. Always Pat. Our Bear 1519. Don't know why these are in no particular order all of a sudden. Ah, well. There was other ones, but I delete too many emails in the run of a week. Too many emails deleted. But yeah, this week is just a quick little fun time show. Meow, 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 meow. Yep, that's it, Ripley. We're not going to dwell on things. I kind of just want to go to bed early tonight. So old. And yeah, I think that's about it. That's about it. That's about it. T-shirts and books all available at mrcartoons.com. And I, of course, I didn't play the intro. I just started going. Ah, unbelievable. Unbelievable. So the show hasn't even actually started yet. So you can't end it because it has not begun. So, Ripley, let's start this thing. Hello and welcome to Mr. Cartoon's live stream drawing. Follow on Instagram for updates of when the streams will start, and of course, to see the finished products. And also, I draw all week long and upload weird little stop motion animations with my toys and things that I make. But yeah, my name is Curtis. This is Milo. Hey, I'm the star. I am the head of this thing. I am the reason that everyone is here, and also this idiot draws pictures, and nobody cares. Everybody cares, and that's why people are here. Meow. 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 Yeah, and also Ripley is the sweetest angel, and most people are here for the sweetest angel, then for my drawings, then for that. All right. Also, Ted Avocado Shakes is here just in case Ted says something. Did somebody mention my name? It's all right, Ted. Go back to sleep. But yeah, have fun with your cats and your dogs, and I'll have fun with my imaginary cats and or dogs, and we'll do it again next week, every Tuesday, as long as there's internet and power. I'll do a stream on Tuesdays, and I won't announce other things that I'm like, I'm going to also try, and I've done that so many times and I didn't do it. Maybe this time. But yeah, that's it. That's it. Thanks everybody for hanging out and all of the input. We'll figure out what's going on with gorillas, whether or not they can swim, and fight giant lizards. I guess just play the outro, Ripley. Play the outro. That's a stream. Know what I mean? Talking about Bernie and all his